What is unfolding in Venezuela now goes far beyond the capture of Nicolás Maduro and signals a sweeping U.S. power play behind the scenes, as U.S. President Donald Trump wants more from the Venezuelan government, and he may start by kicking out the OG rivals of the United States of America in geopolitics gameplay. Reports quoting unnamed U.S. officials, Washington is pressuring Venezuela's interim president to expel foreign advisors from China, Russia, Cuba, and Iran. A dramatic demand aimed at reshaping the country's geopolitical alignment. Secretary of State Marco Rubio personally laid out the Trump administration's conditions to Venezuela's new leader, Delcy Rodríguez, during a classified briefing with senior members of Congress. U.S. officials say the demand includes forcing out foreign spies and military personnel from Cuba, Russia, China, and Iran, while allowing some diplomatic staff to remain. Rubio also told lawmakers that Venezuela must reopen its oil trade with the United States, a demand President Donald Trump has made publicly. This will allow American oil companies to roll back in the Latin American country. Officials say Caracas would likely need to roll back nationalization of the energy sector and possibly pay restitution to firms that left the country. Reports claim minutes after U.S. forces captured Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, and flew them to an American warship, Rubio personally called Delcy Rodríguez, according to two U.S. officials. It remains unclear whether Washington's full list of demands was delivered during that first call or in subsequent conversations.
And it was an amazing military feat that took place yesterday. Think of it. An amazing military. The people are saying, well, thank you. You know, people are saying it goes down with one of the most incredible. It was so complex. 152 airplanes, many. Talk about boots on the ground. We had a lot of boots on the ground. But it was amazing. And think of it, nobody was killed. And on the other side, a lot of people were killed. Unfortunately, I say that, soldiers. Cubans, mostly Cubans, but many killed. And they knew we were coming, and they were protected, and our guys weren't. You know, our guys are jumping out of helicopters, and you're not protected, and they were. But it was so brilliant. The electricity for almost the entire country was boom, turned off. That's when they knew there was a problem. There was no electricity. Caracas said, there's no electricity. It's not the only people with lights were the people that had candles. It was just off. So we sort of got them a little by surprise, but it was brilliant tactically. It was an incredible thing. But I watched where Schumer, he's such a bad guy. I mean, I've known the guy for a long time, and he's such a bad guy. You know, at some point they should say, you know, you did a great job. Thank you. Congratulations. Wouldn't it be good? I would say that if they did a good job. Their philosophies are so different. But if they did a good job, I'd be happy for the country. They've been after this guy for years and years and years. And, you know, he's a violent guy. He gets up there and he tries to imitate my dance a little bit. But he's a violent guy. And he's killed millions of people. He's tortured. They have a torture chamber in the middle of Caracas that they're closing up. But he's tortured people. But the United States proved once again that we have the most powerful, most lethal, most sophisticated, and most fearsome. It's a fearsome military on planet Earth, and it's not even close. You know, I've been saying it for a long time. Nobody can take us. Nobody. We don't want to have it. We don't have a discussion, but you read all and you see everything else. Nobody could have done that. Nobody has our weapons. Nobody has the quality of our weapons. The problem is we don't produce them fast enough. We're going to start producing them much faster. We're going to be very tough on the companies. We have the best weapons in the world, but it takes too long to get them, including allies. When allies want to buy them, they have to wait 4 years for a plane, 5 years for a helicopter. We're not letting that happen anymore. We're telling our defense contractors, you're going to start building faster. You know, a guy makes I have a big problem with it. I'm the king. I have sold more Boeings than any human being on earth. They gave me an award, Salesman of the Year. I said, what about Salesman of the in the history of Boeing? I've sold more Boeing planes than any man in history by far, probably over 1,000. Over 1,000 planes. I said, that's the good news. But why should they wait 3-4 years to get a plane? They should build them, get them immediately. The F-35s, it takes too long to get them.
Rodríguez has publicly defended Venezuela's sovereignty while carefully avoiding direct confrontation with Washington. As interim leader, she now faces a delicate balancing act, protecting her political future while navigating U.S. pressure. A powerful naval presence off Venezuela's coast and direct warnings from President Trump.
Yesterday, President Maduro declared before a court that he is a prisoner of war, and they declared themselves for what they are, innocent, decent people who were unjustly broken. His immunity as head of state was disregarded, and well, both international law and Venezuelan law were completely violated. The government of Venezuela rules in our country. No one else. There is no external agent governing Venezuela. It is Venezuela. Venezuela does not give up. Venezuela is in active and determined resistance, and Venezuela is a noble people, a people of peace, steadfastly seeking its own unique path forward. And it is indeed Venezuela that has profoundly shown the entire world what we are truly made of, that we have grown significantly stronger, that we have grown spiritually and deeply to effectively face numerous challenges and aggressions that have come our way. The threats. Personally, to those who threaten me, I say this. My destiny is decided by no one but God. That is my answer.
Imperialism knows it has committed a terrible crime, that they have murdered civilians. They were killed while they were sleeping, had nothing to do with it, and a bomb exploded on them. Does imperialism know that today it is failing to comply with and violating all the laws, international laws and its own internal laws? Does imperialism know that it has a prisoner of war on its territory, kidnapped here, where he was elected by the majority of Venezuelans to be the constitutional president of our homeland? The administration over there should absolutely know that they have unfortunately generated a truly terrible and widespread anti-American sentiment against them. Terrible for them here in this country. In this country, they have generated an anti-American sentiment. At this moment, it's not just about those who are temporarily administering imperialism, no. It is an anti-American sentiment for having killed a group of Venezuelans who had nothing to do with it. And those who laugh today at their own misfortune do not understand that the Bolivarian revolution is still ongoing here. And they will not understand it, and we are not interested in explaining it to them. Let them experience it, because here the Bolivarian revolution will continue moving forward. And Nicolás and Sylvia will not have to be returned.
Rubio told lawmakers the administration does not want hostility toward the United States from Venezuela's interim leadership, while underscoring the stakes for Rodríguez. However, officials say Rubio offered no clear timeline for elections or restoring democracy. The pressure follows intense fighting during the U.S. raid that removed Nicolás Maduro from power. American Delta Force commandos reportedly engaged in a fierce firefight with Cuban security forces outside Maduro's compound in Caracas. Maduro had relied on Cuban troops as personal bodyguards, viewing them as more loyal than Venezuela's own military. International election observers have previously said Nicolás Maduro falsified the results of Venezuela's 2024 election, a vote the opposition was widely believed to have won. As Washington tightens its grip, Venezuela's future and its alliances now hang in the balance.